If there's one thing that Japan has contributed to the Western geek psyche, it's the giant robot. With the likes of Voltron and Robotech instilling a sense of wonder in the minds of the 70s and 80s youth, mechs are the world over a powerhouse for the male anime fan, or indeed any man for that matter. So Toei Animation decided to celebrate this rich history, from which they have contributed a fair bit, particularly with Mazinger, and add another mighty anime trope, the skimpily-clad girl. Put them together and you get Robot Girl Z, a no-nonsense name for a nonsensical show. The show is broken up into 3 10-minute episodes released monthly instead of weekly, sort of like a compendium of events instead of a traditional series format. The gimmick behind Robot Girl Z is to take its rich heritage of classic giant robots from the 70s and 80s and turn them into costumes for little girls. Off the bat, that might seem bizarre and supremely dodgy. What's the point? It might be cynical of me, but this seems like a cheap ploy for some extra cash, and to try and make Mazinger relevant again by clothing it with the modern fascination of girls in very precocious situations. There's even a robot, named with Barada M2, who seems to be obsessed with thinking deviously with a younger girl bots. I didn't know robots had a sex drive. Well, machines do like being turned on. No. There's not really much to say except that the 3 main girls are based off 3 of the major robots from the mind of Go Nagai, a beacon in the mecha genre, from which I have very little knowledge with not having been brought up with giant robots as much as some people. However, I do acknowledge that his creations hold a very important place in the hearts of mech fans everywhere, and that any attempt to sully their memory with such vapid and quizzical methods might be just shy of heresy. If you take a step back and see what Robot Girl Z is though, you can forgive it a little. It's not meant to be a brand new serious drama about giant robots pew pew. It's a spoof, a light-hearted nostalgia trip for the mech fans out there with a more versatile presentation. You can't really do much comedy or slapstick with 200-foot-tall robots, so a better way would be to bring them down to human size, turn the metal into cloth, and give them a human personality underneath instead of a pilot. It was a necessary move and it allows for more gags to be used. Baron Ashura, operating under the originally named Dr. Hell, the leader of the bad guys, is an interesting subject. Her split personality is literally split. She has 2 halves of attire and visage, perhaps being a direct representation of her schizophrenic manic nature. She's also a doting mother to a group of child droids who are also named after classic mech but given the personas of kids. Some are funny, some are odd, and some are just downright pathetic. There's one whose main power is to protect itself. You'd think it'd be powerful shields, but instead, it's the act of protecting itself, i.e. using other people as shields. Yeah, very odd indeed. In the end, you need to think about what Robot Girl Z is trying to be. Is it a parody? Yes. Is it meant to be taken seriously? No. Is it worth your time? That's not so easy to answer. It's a very unusual piece to assess. Fans of giant robot shows that Toei had a hand in will get and appreciate the references made to their favourite bots, both in name and in costume. Their costumes are very creative, given the restriction of a human form, but I still don't get the point of it. A better way to comedically commemorate the titans of the past would be to make a tale where all the giant robots come together for a big epic battle with all the canon and powers in residence. Not only would that be more appreciated by the fanbase, but it would be a lot more polished than this. The presentation is mediocre, the premise is flawed, and the overall feeling is that the show is relegated to a mild curiosity. You might watch it for a bit and laugh at the comedy. It can be funny in places, but the buck stops there, sadly. Robot Girl Z is available to stream on Crunchyroll. My rating? Caution. Be prepared to be confused, but you can do much worse. If you like what you heard, please visit my Patreon campaign to help grow Anifile at patreon.com/MarsicoX.